Hello, welcome back to the podcast where I get my friend to experience something he's never seen before in his life, and this time it's listening to. So anyway, he's my friend John.
Hello, I'm Lee's friend John.
Yes, it is.
Oh, how are you? It hasn't been that long. It's been
It's been a week.
It's been a week.
Yeah, this has been a good week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it has. It has. It's been all right. We saw June over the weekend,
Yeah.
and obviously at the time of recording this, June is literally just coming out.
Yes.
So, have you seen it yet?
No, not yet.
It's really good.
I want to watch it on a speedboat
Yeah. Why?
because what's the director? Not the director. The cinematographer's name?
Oh God, I can't. I did know. This is disgusting that I don't know this.
Yes. You should know this.
I should know this. I can't remember who shot it, but anyway.
Anyway, it came and said he said watching Dune on a small phone or a tablet or something is the equivalent of having a speedboat in a bath.
Right.
So I want to watch it on the phone on the speedboat.
Yes,
In the bath.
that is clearly what he meant by that. Yeah. No, but it's it's just fantastic. It's because I've got the novel Dune.
Yeah.
And I do intend to read it at some point. But if you know me, you'll know that I've got an absolute plethora of books that I've not read yet, and that I'm reading at the same time. At the minute, I'm reading Frankenstein by Mary Shelley and The Outsider by Albert Camus. And I don't know when I'll get round to it, but I've seen the film, seen part one. Denis Villeneuve, man, he's the modern sci-fi genius. If you've seen Blade Runner 2049, which he did,
Yeah.
You're gonna really enjoy this movie. It was just a blast, man. It was just wonderful.
This is sort of a movie podcast.
It is, yes. It is. But no, that was my weekend. I hope you've been all right, Lee.
Yeah, I've just started Death Stranding again.
Fair.
Started the director's cut
Yes.
because games get director's cut these days.
God, now we're in a strange period, aren't we? Where that happens. But director's cuts.
Yeah.
So is this going to be a future episode where I play this?
Probably, yeah.
Right, incredible.
It's going to be weird because it's one of them games where I can understand if people don't like it.
Yeah.
I can totally understand if someone plays this and is like, this is shite.
Yeah. Is that the same ethos you bring to this music that you've made me listen to?
Yeah, but I genuinely really, really enjoy the stuff I've got you to listen to today.
Right.
So, to preface what music I'm getting you to listen to, 2 weeks ago I got you to listen to Miku,
Yes, you did.
and a couple of songs were on an album called Supercell. The
Mhm.
person who made them, the creator who did them songs, went on to make a band called Supercell.
Right. Okay. Now, yes, that's true. Now, I wrote in my notes soft cell. That's not what the band's called, is it?
No, it's Supercell.
Oh, Supercell. Okay, I don't know where I got soft cell from, but nonetheless,
Pretty sure Soft Cell's a band.
is it a band?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or a
oh, it
song.
is a band.
Yes.
No, it is. Of course it is. Of course it is. Oh my god. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, of course they did. Tainted Love, didn't they?
Yes.
Of course they
God,
did.
yes, yeah.
Of course. But this is. Do you know what? That's the worst point of today.
Yeah.
That I
The
didn't.
lowest point that we
The
didn't get.
lowest point of my life today, like to know that I didn't realize that Soft Cell were not only a band but one of the best bands of the 1980s.
Yes.
So, and that I know their music very well. That's so
It's
funny.
Week 3 and getting John into anime stuff, it's already losing his mind.
I honestly, my YouTube recommendations are just
Oh god, they'd be terrible.
they're all over the shop.
I had a Uwu Punkin song recommended to me over Halloween.
Whoa, what even is that?
I'm not even going to get into that.
No, not at all.
So anyway, yeah, so Supercell,
Mm-hmm.
made by Rio, who's a lyricist, music director, producer.
Yep.
But the first thing I got you to listen to was a band called Egoist, which is one of his as well.
Yes, you
And
did.
specifically, I got you to watch the opening of an anime called Guilty Crown. Mm-hmm. What did you think of the song?
Well, I was, okay. Well, for a start, I have to preface this. It was lovely to actually hear actual instruments. You know, like an actual. You could tell that it was like, okay, this is actual musicians playing actual songs, and not with no disrespect to Miku. Obviously, I think she's a wonderful lady. But it was obviously, if you've listened to the first episode, you know my thoughts on that. I just thought it was like just a rush. You know, just this mad cyber, conglomerate of noise.
Yeah.
You know, where it's all like a rush to get to the end, and the lyrics are just ridiculous. But with this, excuse me, I've God, the coronavirus is seeping through this building at the minute. No, so I've written here in my notes. Was it The Everlasting Guilty Crown?
that's a song that was used at the opening for.
That was the song that used it in the open. Yes, exactly.
But Guilty Crown's the anime. That's what it's called.
Okay, brilliant. I thought the opening of that anime was actually obviously like most animes that I'm actually like starting to realize now that they're really well done, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, they're really, you know, the animation's great. You can tell that they've put a lot of thought into what like the characters and the storytelling are going to be. And to be honest with you, it's probably they're probably much like far superior to what we've got here in the West in terms of like animation or storytelling and things like that.
For some, yeah, because animation's kind of like I don't know, it's mostly seen as a childish thing.
Yes.
So most adult animations, like, just kind of just comedies and that's it, really.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Family Guy, Big Mouth.
That sort of thing.
Like, that's the only ones I know of, apart from, like, Simpsons.
Obviously the Simpsons, yeah. But it's like, that's the thing, like, I've noticed over there, they seem to have just a bit more, like, free reign to sort of, like, do what they want and, like, tell, you know, interesting stories or whatever. But even so much so with the music. Now I've written down here, and this is gonna be a phrase that's gonna come up quite a lot over the next course of these episodes, Lee. But what I've written down here, Lee, emo Europop. That is exactly what this music is. it's emo Europop. That's exactly what it is, because they all seem to have like this this. I don't know what it is. It seemed a drive to sort of like start off with something that you would hear in like the early 2000s or whatever, and then they reach like this really soaring like chorus, and everything's like I don't even know how to describe it. Like oh, the bookcase, it fell over, but I put it back up, you know, sort of thing. Like everything's just like grand and over the top, and you know, and like and this, that, and the other. Is this a common thread that appears all over it?
I think there is a lot of metaphors for songs I've heard. That's translations really, so it could be. That's got my own thing. So
yeah. That sort of thing.
It seems to be a lot of like metaphorical music.
Yes.
Best I can describe, sort of like Chili Peppers. They just say random metaphors for like.
It's funny you mentioned the Red Hot Chili Peppers, because I mean, obviously this is a little taster for a future episode, but I'll bring up the Red Hot Chili Peppers a little bit later on. But for me, it was kind of I did actually bizarrely quite enjoy this.
Yeah. In
a strange way, right? Because I started to think over the first few songs that you know, while it is clearly a band playing this music, and while it is clearly like an actual singer playing this like singing the songs and things like that, it is that genre of music that still comes through, like that sort of like early 2000s sort of like Jimmy Eat World sort of thing. In fact, if you noticed on my Facebook last night, if anyone has me on social media, actually, they'll have noticed that I shared Jimmy Eat World, The Middle.
Good song.
Excellent song.
I don't follow John on social media. Not on Facebook. I don't have a Facebook.
That's true. I keep forgetting, actually. But it reminded me so much of that. It reminded me so much of like that era of music and that type of songwriting and things like that. And I've also written down here Jersey Boys.
Jersey Boys.
There was a few songs that sounded like something out of the Jersey Boys musical, and I don't know if that was just I don't mean specifically the musical, because obviously it's about Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. They sound like Frankie Valli songs. Honestly, they sound like songs that could have came out in like that 60s era, where we were trying to work out if pop music was going to turn into rock music or not. Or
I know you're going on a tangent. Are you talking about porno graffiti here?
No, I'm not. Honestly, I'm. Do you know what? Again, really interesting that you mentioned that, because for a future episode, keep that in mind. But no, I'm talking about Egoist.
No, right.
Honestly, I am. It's like there was a feeling of that this could be like a 60s crooner thing going on. You know, which I thought was really interesting, mixed with like sort of early 2000s. It's infinitely better than Miku. That I have to say. You know, and I don't know. I started to sort of feel that a lot of the songs sort of bled into the same sort of thing. You know, I mean, I don't know if you feel. I don't know how you feel about that.
I know the bands I got you to listen to, I think they don't define by one genre. You can tell that.
You can tell that. You can tell that very
Most
much.
Japanese artists don't have like a certain like genre to stick by. They'll just do whatever.
They'll do whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I
Yeah.
quite like.
Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. I was gonna say Guilty Crown came out in 2011. So
Oh, did it?
It's got probably some influence of early, like mid 2000s.
Well, yeah, that's like the sweet spot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where you know it's starting to like oh, that was a strange time for music, wasn't it? The like sort of like the early 2010s sort of thing.
That's when like most of my music taste kind of stopped. It went to a stunt.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Did it just like was that like
Western music and stuff just kind of stunted then, and everything else I just listened to onwards are just
yeah?
foreign
It was
stuff
yeah, it was a strange period because it was like that I mean I feel like modern music kind of now, I know we're going off topic a little bit, but I know that like modern music is kind of like getting a bit better now. I've noticed that with because that's like the 80s influences are starting to come through, and people like Billie Eilish, you know, who are really popular, like they're like legitimate songwriters and things like that, you know, and but like the early 2010s was just a strange period where music I don't think really knew what it was doing, to be honest with you. But like coming with this like Maroon 5, I need to say more about that. but with songs like this though, it's like, or like music like this rather, you can really tell like that it is really influenced by that sort of like that noughties sound coming through, and especially as well a bit of new metal. Yeah. Like new metal is all over this.
Oh
like,
yeah,
you know,
it's definitely an influence there.
It really is, and I hate new metal. I absolutely despise it. What is it? Like Linkin Park.
I love Linkin Park.
Oh God, it's.
I can see what you meant by emo. You're talking about new metal and stuff, yeah.
I like emo music. Like I quite like emo music to a certain degree. You know, like bands like you know, like My Chemical Romance and things like that. You know, like they're like legitimately a great band. You know, and even when Green Day like jumped on the bandwagon a little bit, like in the mid 2000s, you know, with like American Idiot and all that sort of thing. But it was just like I was just listening to this music, and I was just thinking, oh yeah, it's just like, because you get to a point where it was just like, I kind of know what's gonna happen now because they've introduced the trends, but then Lee, I've got written here, Lee,
yes,
in my notes,
yes,
Lovely Ice Cream Princess Sweetie.
Yes, I love that song.
I've written, oh yes, Let's Dance, Salsa, Thick Tasty Bass, Lovely Little Piano Groove, Guitar Sounds Lovely.
Thick Tasty Bass is going to be a recurring theme for the next couple of episodes.
It certainly is, yes. What an absolute joy.
Yeah.
What an absolute joy this song. It's absolutely remarkable. It was just, I was listening, I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, it's got such a, like, yeah.
You know, and I was just like, I don't care that I can't understand the words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like
half the songs I listen to, I don't understand the words.
Exactly, like you can't understand a thing they're saying. But of course, it was like, the song was just going on. I was just like, oh God, this is quite good. You know, I can imagine myself on the dance floor with this. You know, with a couple of friends and a margarita or whatever. You know,
it's very summery track.
It is, yes, absolutely. I could, you know, and this was what I think you fully meant by like it's totally genre defying.
Yeah.
You know, there isn't really like a connection here to like a specific thing, but they I mean, they have their trends. They have the trends, and they like to stick to them. You know, they know what they like. But here we've got like this bossa nova thing going on. You know, like this lovely little bass groove going on. I was just like, oh, I need to get me some shirt out for this. It was lovely. It was lovely, and of course the titles as well. Like I mean, as I said, like Lovely Ice Cream Princess Sweetie. What the hell is that about? What does that mean? What's it about? Is it?
Honestly, don't know because I've never really looked up the lyrics. I just enjoy the song.
That's still, yeah. I mean, but you know, Egoist was, you know, I wouldn't say that it's something that I would eagerly go and listen to.
Stop taking my last question of the day.
I can't help it. I can't help it. I'm sorry, but I know that. I know that I could like easily sit and listen. I could. Okay, fine. Okay, I'll do it a bit better for you.
Okay.
I could easily sit. I could over Miku, which is Miku more popular than this?
Yeah.
How?
Miku's just an icon.
She's.
That's all I gotta say, really.
She's an
iconic. She's an idol. Like, yeah.
She's an icon, and we worship her.
Yeah.
And we love her for that. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, it was just infinitely better than Miku. and I don't understand that. I don't understand. I don't understand her. You know, any of that stuff. Just I'm glad she's in the past, Lee. I can't face that stuff again. I can't do
It's
it
all right,
again.
we're not going close enough.
No, we're not going close. I was gonna say Supercell. Now Supercell, great band.
Yeah.
But Supercell, you sent me this song called "My Dearest."
Yeah.
Was it to listen to? Goodness me, what a track!
Yeah.
What a track! It was. I've got written here, Lee.
Yeah.
In my notes, Vanessa Carlton, but in Wicked. That's exactly what this song was. It was as soon as it started, I was just like, "This sounds like a Vanessa Carlton song." Is it Vanessa Carlton or Charlton?
I have no idea.
You know the woman who sang oh God, what's it called?
Some of my music stuff, yeah, stunted.
Yeah, she was like an early 2000s sort of idol, shall we say? I mean, she had oh, God. She had one hit track. It was called 1,000 Miles. And I miss you.
Oh, Vanessa. Yes, shit.
Her, yeah. Is it Charlton or Carlton? I mean, it's spelled with a CH, but I'm not sure if it's pronounced Charlton.
Just making my way downtown.
That's it. That's the song. It sounds like her.
Vanessa Carlton.
Vanessa Carlton.
Okay.
Okay, great. Vanessa Carlton, and she also had another track that was quite big apparently.
I just remember that one.
White Houses, which is where we got the name of one of my bands actually.
Yeah.
Well, not really, indirectly, and then that became a theme song for a little bit. It was quite funny. It's a good song. If anyone's listening, which I hope you are, we've got that little of an audience.
Just started.
We just listen to Vanessa Carlton, White Houses, great song. Anyway, but this song, "My Dearest" by Supercell.
Yeah.
It sounds like a Vanessa Carlton song, but if it was in the musical Wicked.
Right.
That's exactly what it sounds like, because it's they've all got this is something I think that applies to a lot of these songs, not just in Supercell, but I think in Egoist as well. They've all got like this musical theatre quality to them, where especially this song, that it feels like it's setting a scene, it's introducing a character, you know, and they're gonna express their feelings in like this big bombastic way, you know, and they do, and it's like it's quite appealing to listen to. Do you know what I mean?
It's kind of funny you say that. So this is going to be this all ties together from what I sent you. So
Right.
My Dearest is the first opening of Guilty Crown.
Okay.
Guilty Crown is about a terrorist group.
Oh, right. Okay.
After
Great.
this is going to be, I haven't watched it in years. After like a virus hits Tokyo and stuff, and they get cordoned off, and it's like a terrorist group who are trying to claim back Japan, really.
Oh wow. Okay.
But they have a front as a band
Right. Okay.
called, get this, Egoist.
Really?
So Egoist was made for Guilty Crown.
Oh wow. Oh,
So
that's incredible.
Rio did the opening as Supercell, his own band,
Yeah.
and then did a spin-off band with another lead singer called Shelley.
Right.
She sung all the Egoist songs.
Wow. So it kind of is a musical in a sense.
Little
bit. Yeah.
That's why I want to ask you about the opening song "U-Turp," because that song is so good.
Yeah.
Like,
Which one was this?
it's the dark. It's just it's the one that was on the opening scene of Guilty Crown.
Okay.
The anime. It was really small. It was like do 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 do.
Oh yes.
Very political song.
Absolutely.
Anti-war.
Yeah.
And if you listen to the one, like the actual song, who was the president around about the time that Japan got nuked?
Oh, it was Harry Truman. He's the first and so far only human being to order a nuclear strike on a civilian population.
Lovely man. Gotta love him.
Yep.
In that song, you can hear Truman's speech talking about when they dropped the bombs on the Japanese. And this coming from a Japanese band is like, it's
Bloody
got a
hell.
hell of a punch to it.
That is a punch, isn't
Yeah.
it? Really good. I mean, actually, well, God, now that you mention that, I mean, that must be something that's still like, I mean, it will still be
It's like, what? It's less than 100 years?
very much less
Yeah.
than 100 years ago. I mean, like, what? The Second World War ended about
45.
1945. So how many years is that? That's like
This is going about 60, 70, 75, 76.
76 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not that long ago.
Yeah.
You know, and for I mean, you do forget, don't you? Really, that I think the country will still be feeling the repercussions of that very much so.
Oh yeah, changed the country.
Well, I mean, quite literally. I mean, but like, you know, but also like everything about it will have like, and it's like we do. I think we do forget over here that we. I mean, obviously, you know, not Britain in itself, but like we didn't drop the bomb, but like we were very much
part of the
part of that political landscape, you know, that sort of did that. And it's still very bizarre whenever you see pictures from like that period and you know, from that year when they dropped the bomb on Japan and like killed so many, like a nuclear bomb, man, you know, like killed so many people, and that ended the war. And it was like, you know, and you see in Times Square, like in 1945, when all of the GIs and people were just celebrating and stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's a bit.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit odd, isn't it? It's a bit dark, really.
Yeah,
you know?
hindsight's just like, oof, God.
Oh,
yeah.
I know, yeah. It's like, Jesus Christ, you know, it's such a strange period.
But yeah, U-Turb is such a good anti-war song, and that always hits me every time I hear Truman's speech.
Yeah.
It's really quiet, but you can hear it just in the background.
Yeah.
Of him saying that, it's just like, oof.
Yeah, I know. That's a question actually I've got generally about Japan, because you've been to Japan yourself, haven't you? Yes.
Yes, I have.
Yes, you have. And like, I mean, over there, I mean, what was it like generally?
I mean, this is speaking as a white boy. Really weird being like pretty much the only white person you see in like.
Really?
Yeah, like when we got the flight from Malaysia, Japan, I was looking around, I was like, wow, absolute minority here. It's a weird thing to feel like, considering, you know, white boy living in the northeast of England, like just whiteness everywhere.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
But no, yeah, friendly, loved it. Like, try my best to talk as much as I could.
Yeah.
Everything I learned about the language went out of my head as soon as I got on the plane.
Really?
Can't speak it anymore.
Can't speak it.
I can understand it a bit, but honestly, everything I studied up on, as soon as I left, I just went, nah, we don't need that anymore.
No, can't commit it to memory. No, I get that completely. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, someday I would love to visit Japan. It's not. It's. I mean, I'll be honest. It's not somewhere that's like on
high.
It's not somewhere that's high on my list. I mean, like the East generally, isn't. I mean, I want to go through Europe first, you know, before I like experience like that part of the world, you know, things like that. But I suppose the question is, it's like, is there a feeling over there of like bitterness towards like, you know, like specifically America, just for the obvious reasons? And this is pure ignorance because I don't know. There's
a bit of a weird thing about foreigners, but that's just Japan in general. Like, they've always had a bit of a weird thing about foreigners. One of my friends, she lived there for over a year, and she always felt uncomfortable being there.
Right. Okay.
It's just like passive aggressiveness. She said usually a lot of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think being a tourist's fine. You're just doing your stuff and getting there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because I think there's that feeling that they know that you are a tourist and you're not going to be there, like, so they can sort of like put up with you.
I mean, I try to keep as respectful as possible. Obviously, like a lot of like bowing and stuff, which is like kind of like a thing there.
Yeah.
Walking past, please just bow back. So it's
just
like kind of just try to keep them as polite as possible and as speak as much as possible, because I hate going to foreign countries and not knowing the language. Doing that typical British thing. That over there, I want that.
That thing, please. It's like my father. God, I first of all, Dad, if you ever end up listening to this, I love you dearly, but I think you know that you do this. Whenever we go on a family holiday, and first of all, he's very, very respectful to like every single person that he meets, regardless of where they're from. But it's like, whenever we go to a restaurant, he would when pointing out what we want on the menu, he would sort of put on like this like this foreign accent depending on where we're from, you know, as if it would make it easier for them to understand what he's saying. And it's like, oh God. It was just so ridiculous, but it's funny at the end of the day, you know. It's just like, okay, I think they understand if you just speak like, you know, like in a language, you know, it's fine. You don't need to go so do you know, it's like, but you know, but the point I was like trying to like get towards to is that obviously we know that now more so than ever, I think people in the West especially young people, have this growing love for like Eastern culture.
Yeah.
And whether that's, you know, Japanese culture or certainly South Korean culture.
Oh, yeah.
That's massively huge. I wonder what people from like the East think of this. You know, like people from Japan and South Korea and stuff.
There's a thing for Japanese. They have a love of France.
They have a love of France.
Yeah, there's a big love of France. Like,
right.
From what we would be like weebs for Japanese stuff, they've got like a weebiness for France.
Right.
Kind of. So much so, there's a documented psychological like, I'm not saying disease, psychological like
disorder
of when Japanese people have gone to France and realize how shit it is, and like
right.
kind of it's just broke. It's like their whole like romanticism of France.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, it's like a documented thing.
Oh, God. So they go to France, realize it's shit,
and then be like, oof. Yeah.
And then wow, okay, God, that's fascinating.
Yeah, it's like a
bloody hell, God. I mean, I kind of understand that. I mean, it's sort of like it's like, you know, like things living up to your expectations,
oh, yeah.
and then they're just not the same. I get that, but like, I mean, to be fair, I've only been to France. I haven't really. I mean,
Disneyland. That's about it.
I mean, like Disneyland Paris when I was very, very, very small. But I haven't. I've driven through France when I've gone to Lourdes, which is no, I have been to France. That's a lie. I've been to the south of France.
Yeah.
Like twice. But that's on like the French-Spanish border. If by the way, if anybody has the chance, go to Lourdes. It's absolutely lovely. Or Lourdes, is how some people like to pronounce it. If you're religious or if you're not religious, I don't think it really matters. It's a wonderful place to see and experience. Go and check it out. Lovely. But actual other parts of France, like Paris, I'm yet to really see, or any other any other general area really. But yeah, that's generally what I was curious about with Japanese people's attitude. You know, like people from America. You know,
Paris syndrome. It's called.
Paris syndrome.
Sense of disappointment exhibited by some individuals when visiting Paris who felt that the city was not what they expected. Conditions commonly viewed as a severe form of culture shock. That was just the Wikipedia.
Oh, that's so. I don't know why that's so funny. Can that just appeal to anyone?
I mean, I guess so, but I guess it was made. It was probably discovered in Japan.
In Japan,
that's why it's called Paris syndrome.
Yeah, because there's never been.
It'll be a thing. You go to a different country, you're expecting something different.
Yeah, called Paris syndrome.
Yeah.
Oh God, this isn't at all what I thought it was gonna be like. That's class. That's so funny. But yeah, getting back to Supercell.
Yep.
That's generally what I thought about that big specific song. My Dearest. Oh, and the music video itself. The music was this directed by Zack Snyder?
Well, because it's all
because it's bonkers. It's all over the place. It's but it's quite creative.
Yeah.
It's clearly done with obviously that concept in mind. You know, of whatever, you know, the anime is, or but like, again, it was just this seemed to have like this quality of like Japanese music videos I've noticed, where like the camera sort of like jolts about, you know, and there's a lot of quick cuts and there's a lot of extreme close-ups, and it's always of the band playing, you know. But I mean that's a common concept in many music videos that you get anywhere. You know, I really appreciated the cuts to like this foreign wasteland, like this barren wasteland that she was standing in with like a hood and things like that. But honestly, I was like, this is wicked. This is like from the musical Wicked. It's great. I thoroughly expected her to like whip out a broomstick or something and start flying about. But I you know, it was pleasant on the ear. It was quite enjoyable. You know, it's like well written songs. Yeah. That's one thing I will say. Like they're clearly well written songs.
Would you believe the same guy did Melt?
I'm sorry. He did Melt.
Yeah, he's the one who did the Melt song.
Do you know what? Now that you mention it, absolutely, I can see that. Yes. Oh my goodness, because Melt was the best track out of the lot. That's so funny. Oh my god. Right, this guy. He's begging for a career in musical theatre. Honestly, that is not even a joke. He's like he's clearly got a knack for writing big show-stopping numbers.
And he did that Sinner song as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's well. Again, I'm not too surprised at that, really. So
and again, you're talking about theatre, so going back to Egoist, since I said it was a fictional band,
yeah,
the singer is fictional as well. Like, Shelley is an actual singer.
right.
She's been, like, confirmed. She's the girl who sings.
She's real.
But the front woman is Inori.
Oh my god.
And she was in the Guilty Crown anime. They made her for that, and then she's just the headpiece for...
Right. Why is that? They're constantly pulling a wool over my eyes, the Japanese. It's like, you think it's something straightforward, but it's not, John. Turns out that none of them are real. We're all the Matrix, and this one guy wrote 17 billion songs for 36 different bands who are all fronted by a woman who you think is real, but she's not. Honestly, that's I'd like to say, actually, to be honest with you, I'm not surprised, really. That fully checks out, really. And there was another song that you asked me to listen to. I can't remember what it's called, but I've written here in my notes today. That's Let's All Have a Break in the Lounge.
Let's all have a break in the lounge.
Let's all have a break in the lounge, because we're gonna go in and you only sent me 2 Supercell songs.
Yeah, because I had a big list and I was like, I'll just cut it down a bit.
I'll just put 2 in there. I really appreciate that.
I'm guessing Supercell, that would have been it's one of my favourite songs as well, and the names went totally out of my head.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to have to go for John list. But yeah, it's very funky, very bass line.
Yeah,
I actually used it in one of my university projects.
Oh, did you really?
It was my moving camera project, yeah.
Right.
One where we just did like the shots.
Yeah, and just
that
walked around.
Walked
around the campus, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a lovely little laid back jazzy number.
Feels so good.
Feels so good, and I was like, it lives up to the title.
Reminds me of Jamiroquai a little bit.
Do you know what? Actually, yes, there is a bit of Jamiroquai there about it. Yeah, that's quite nice.
I love that song.
Yeah,
and the lyrics are so girly. Like, considering it's written by a dude.
They're quite feminine.
Yeah, it's talking about like going out, getting the weekend, getting a dress. Getting asked out by a dude on a train. Ah,
yes. All those things we love.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love it.
That's quite charming, actually.
But that is one of my favourite songs out of the lot. It's just such a
just
easy going.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was quite a change of pace, really, which is what I quite appreciated.
I'm guessing you love the bass line of it.
Oh yes, I'm a sucker for a good bass line. Yeah. It was it was lovely, nice little chilled, a chilled little ditty, shall we call it. And it was I just felt like I was in like a lovely little lounge in a hotel, they're playing on the piano or whatever, there's a little like groovy little jazzy band playing. It was but yeah, the Jamiroquai vibes, like, actually, now that you mention it, they're quite strong in that. Yeah, I appreciated it,
Yeah, when I first said it, I was like, yeah, this sounds a bit Jamiroquai, and I was like, I love it.
Yeah, it was really, it was good fun, and I've got, it was really inoffensive stuff. And I often, as you say, the story behind them, I think, is often a lot more interesting. You know, it's just like this one guy who's just responsible for it all. Really, yeah. He needs to write a musical. I'm serious, honestly. Get yourself over to Broadway or wherever, or the Japanese equivalent to Broadway. I mean, actually, it's theatre. Obviously,
theatre is big.
Kabuki theatre, obviously, that's the classic.
And there's I can't remember the term for it, but it's like an all-girl one.
Right.
They do a lot of theatres. They do a lot of stage shows based on anime and games and stuff.
Right.
There was an all-girl production of Phoenix Wright, which is about lawyers and stuff.
Right. Okay.
Which is a really fun one to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, theatre is big. Like, they always do stage shows of like something popular. Anime is popular, they'll probably do a stage show of it. Eventually, games popular, do a stage show of it.
That's mad. It's very fun, though.
Yeah.
Because I wish, actually, I say I wish we did things like that over here. We kind of do, in a way. We make films out of games, which is largely quite a bad decision.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the Uncharted trailer, just while it popped into my head, I think it looks terrible.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to it in the slightest. I mean, Tom Holland, I think he's a lovely man, lovely actor. Perfect little good choice for the Spider-Man.
He just looks too young for Nathan Drake.
He's not Nathan Drake, is he?
No.
He's not Nathan Drake. He isn't. He doesn't fit the role in the slightest. And then when you find out that Mark Wahlberg is playing Scully, it's like, what? Is that the best we could do? Because I watched it and I was just like, well, we're getting Tom Holland to play Nathan Drake because he's a bankable star.
Yeah.
He's a rising talent. Of course he is. Even if he doesn't fit the role, sure. But they could have gotten anyone, like a really good actor to play Scully here, to like say like J.K. Simmons. Why wasn't he playing Scully? It's like they just went, oh, do you know what? It doesn't matter. Fuck it. Just get Mark Wahlberg. Doesn't matter, does it?
Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wasn't a fan. But if they made them into theatre shows, you know, maybe I'd be a bit more
Uncharted the musical.
Imagine Uncharted the musical. It would be incredible. You know, it would just be like I'm going off. You know, like to find something. Find treasure. You know, it'd be amazing. It'd be great. But yeah, it's I always find it interesting how they come about and what their takes are and all that sort of stuff. But no, I mean, genuinely, he seems like a really talented guy.
Yeah.
You know, and I when I say that, he really should like. I honestly think he should venture his career out into exploring that territory, because I think it would be.
Rio, if you're listening, listen to this white guy here.
Absolutely, listen to this white man from the West who, no, let's be honest, knows next to nothing about you or your culture.
Yep.
But has listened to some of your music, thinks it's largely rather quite good. I think you'd make a smash success on Broadway or making a or like a similar musical in Japan, wherever you like, really.
Yeah.
You know, just go for it. I think it'll be fantastic. You know, it'd be great. You know.
So you got any more notes about any more songs? So I wonder what you thought about Terakure.
Terakure,
which was the kind of techno-y.
Yes, I think I remember that one. Yeah, the techno-y one. It was it was a bit different, you know, which I quite appreciate.
Not my music taste, but I love the song.
No, yes. Again, it's another example of just like branching out from like what you would typically expect.
Yeah.
You know, but again, not my sort of thing. But it was fun. You know, it was fun. It was like that's what I got from like a lot of them. It was like, oh, it's fun. You know, it's fun. It's not too much. I didn't have too much to say about it really, because it was just, you know, it was like, oh, it's this lot doing this lot doing how bad does that sound? This lot doing techno. But it was it didn't surprise me in the sense that popped up, because I was like, well, techno's gonna have to appear at some point.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I thought it was fun. I thought it was good fun.
Good.
Yes.
Alright, I'm just looking through my notes here. Kind of got a.
No, that's
here.
alright.
Gonna have to.
I know. I didn't. That was the thing. I didn't have much more to say really on Egoist and things like that. I thought it was a good example of what Japan can actually like offer in terms of like, you know, act like oh, this is what their bands play and things like that. This is what like a peek into like their actual like music production and things like that, rather than just a shared cyborg organism that you know, isn't real, you know, and like and players just garble together rushed music, you know. That's basically my 2 cents on it, you know.
Yeah. I was just thinking now, because I wanted to talk about the last song that was on the list that I sent you. Well, for Egoist anyway, was Namae no Nai Kaibutsu.
Oh god, I'm trying to remember that one actually.
Nameless Monster.
Nameless Monster.
It starts off with like a ha ha ha, like another musical.
It was another musical track, was it?
Yes, big rock.
Big rock anthem sort of thing. I'm trying to remember if I actually listened to that one.
Oh, John.
I know.
Lists.
God, I know. It's well, it was. I tell you what, if you play it for me,
yeah,
and I will give my my notes on it.
It's another thing where we're just gonna have to cut this out. Right, so I just got John to listen to Nameless Monster, is what it's called in English.
Yes. Goodness me, they don't do anything by half measures, do they?
No, God no.
No, that was the third act show-stopping number. Goodness, again, it's another further example of like these are like a big epic. Well, actually, no, that wasn't a musical. That was like that's probably what it was for. like the ending of like a big anime.
Yeah.
Like the ending credits sort of thing.
It was. That's why I wanted to listen to it.
There you go.
Get you to listen to it.
That's what it's exactly what it sounds like. It got loud, bombastic. You know, they're really well written songs. You know, you can't really deny that, and I love the instrumentation of like with
a mix
like
of violin and
the violin and the strings coming in there with the guitar and everything like that, and like again, like I mean, it's quite well structured where you have like, you know, like the setting of everything up, and then the drop, and then the chorus and things like that. It was quite good, and the key change, and that just when things couldn't get even more crazy, we have a key change.
Yeah, well, we're listening to it in silence together. Then the key change happens. John went, "Oh, a key change."
I did, yes. I did. I love a key change. I'm trying to persuade my band so many times, like include one in the songs that we're writing at the minute, and I'm just like, there's no place for it. But I mean, but yeah, it just jumps. I love that though. It gave it so much more power. You know, it's again another example of like really well written songs that they don't really have. I struggle to see like their commercial appeal in terms of like songs that people would like just listen to. Well, no, I'm trying to pick my words. It's
funny you say that because I listened to that first before I discovered it was on an anime.
Yeah, well,
and the reason I want to get you to listen to this because one of the songs from next week's band,
right,
the opening to the anime that did the ending for that one.
Oh God!
So
right.
That's why I want to link together.
Yeah,
because I'm trying to link everything up.
Oh, of course, there was a theme.
Yes, so there's themes.
But that's the thing though. It's like, but for some, okay, well, right, fair enough. But it's like they're clearly intended for a certain thing, isn't it? Like they're clearly written with like certain things in mind.
Some songs I'll give you were definitely written for animes.
Yeah.
Everlasting Guilty Crown being an example because it's called The Everlasting Guilty Crown.
Of course.
Anime is called Guilty Crown, which don't worry, I'm not going to get you to watch because it's a bit trash. I love Guilty Crown so much, but it is trash.
It's trash. Okay.
Yeah, it's trash.
Oh, that's fair.
I
enough.
just have a love to it.
Oh, so okay, fair enough. So I'll take back what I said at the beginning about well constructed anime. But
I was going to go back to that, but I went on a tangent. But yeah, yeah. Some of the songs are written for the anime that comes out for them. Some songs are just general songs. Like, okay, that sounds good enough. We'll just take that and put it in the opening credits. Normally, it's kind of a way to get singles out.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's I suppose it's the same concept with like a film soundtrack or anything like that.
Yeah, you get something popular. Oh, we'll add the song to it.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
That, anime is like syndicated for like so many like seasons. So like they have the fall, summer, spring seasons and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and there's like songs there. Some are written just for the anime. Some are written for like just songs. Like, okay, we'll have that and put it on our track.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, it was it was one of the more enjoyable ones, I think. Definitely. Yeah, good fun, man. Good fun.
Yeah. So you can answer my question now properly. Would you listen to Egoist and Supercell?
No. Well, I wouldn't know. I mean, it's not something that I would come back to in my spare time to sort of like delve into. It's not my kind of thing.
Fair.
But that being said, there were certain songs that I could see myself revisiting. Just in terms of like, if you wanted to put something on for like if you're with a crowd of people and you wanted to have a bit of a dance, you know, like Ice Cream Super Princess, Let's Go, whatever it was called. I mean, you know, those songs have their place, and I thought it was, you know, they're very good fun, very well constructed, they're very well written songs.
Yeah.
And I will say that, and I think this man has a plethora of talent that he should pour into the theater. Write a musical, get it done. You know, it'd be great. You know, but yeah, no, I wouldn't. no, that's
Fries on my playlist.
Yeah, literally, no, I would not come back to it.
Like half my walking playlist, I got these songs on.
We're vastly different people.
Got different music tastes completely. Yeah.
Completely different musical taste, but you know, I have a lot of respect for it.
Yeah,
I will say that, and I appreciate it for what they are. It's just not my sort of thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of draws a close on this episode.
Absolutely.
Next week, if you can't guess it already, that's the ending for Nameless Monster. If you ever watched Psycho Pass, I'm going to show you the band that did the opening for it.
Oh, but amazing. Can't wait. Again.
Also, one time I might get you to watch Psycho Pass. Psycho Pass is amazing.
Hey, I mean, you know, it's...
You like detective thrillers?
I'm partial to them, yes.
And a bit of Minority Report?
I've never seen Minority Report.
Fair.
Fair.
You know the concept of it though, right?
I kind of. I think
stopping crimes before they happen.
No, I don't know what it is. No,
Yeah.
I don't think I've heard of Minority Report, but I know literally nothing about it.
Well, basically, they had a system where they stopped crimes before it happened.
Oh,
they were
okay.
able to determine who was going to make a crime and be like, okay, we'll stop them before that happens. Psychopaths is on a similar thing.
Oh, okay.
Really good.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I think with that, that's kind of the end of the episode. So follow us on our Twitter, which is my friend John Pod. On my personal Twitter, Blank the Mage.
And my personal Instagram. I've been realizing I've been saying it wrong these past 2 episodes. So
it's the underscore.
It's the underscore New Wave. So at the underscore New Wave. That is me on Instagram. So yes.
John isn't a Twitter person.
No, he's not. No, he's got no time for it.
Yeah, and I've got all the time. Less time for Instagram.
yes, absolutely.
That's why we're opposites.
That's precisely why, but that's my
picture
domain.
was like, oh, you, and it's just us two.
That's literally it. That's literally it.
Right, till next time, guys. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Farewell.